All right, well, welcome Steeler fans to another episode of Steelers Today. I'm your host, Eddie Provident. This is DK Pittsburgh Sports. With me, back from Canton, is Dale Lolley. Dale, do you have fun or was it just a business trip for you?
It's always a business trip when you go to Canton. What they've done up there is jammed like 100 acres worth of stuff into about 50 acres. So it's always a little maddening and crushing up there, and it's turned into more of a made-for-TV event. But, you know, I survived. We saw 5 Steelers go in, so it was a good weekend for Steeler fans. And you'll notice today, I'm not wearing the golf hat today. Today is all about Pony League World Series, which is upcoming in Washington, PA, where I live. It's at the field that I run in Washington, Lou Hayes Pony Field. So that'll be kicking off here soon. If you get a chance, get down there and watch a pony game.
It's always a good time to catch some baseball. So, Dale, I mean, this has been... the only reason why I know it's day 15 is because I have to number these things. But we are in the dog days of summer. Tomlin even said it himself. We've got survivors and thrivers here. But you had a pretty cool opportunity to finally get a one-on-one with Joe Haden. How'd that go for you today?
It was exhilarating to actually be able to sit down with somebody face-to-face and ask them questions and follow up on the questions and just have a conversation with somebody. It was great, and Joe dropped a little bit of news on me as well, saying he told me that he's approached the Steelers about a contract extension. There's some interest there, and so we'll see if something gets worked out there. I get his agent not commenting on it at this time, Drew Rosenhaus, but obviously the Steelers have a working relationship with Drew. They like Joe. Yeah. Yes, he's 32, but he feels like he can play 2 or 3 more years. We'll see. I mean, I think, that may be one that gets done here at some point. And everybody is concerned about the TJ Watt thing. And even Joe said it. He said, I realize they've got to take care of TJ first. Right. But there's other guys on this roster who are heading into that final year of their contract that the Steelers aren't going to want to see go because, you need veteran leadership. And, if Ben Roethlisberger, for example, would hang things up after this season, who are the guys that fill that void? Joe Haden would be one of them.
Yeah, and even Mike Tomlin was asked about Joe Haden. You asked Mike Tomlin about Joe Haden. Somebody had commented on Trey Norwood being a late-round pick and how defensive back is one of those positions.
Above the neck,
yeah, it's above the neck. And here's what Tomlin had to say about Joe Haden.
Because so much of the position is intangible qualities. Above the neck play, communication skills, instincts and feel for the game, and some of those things don't show up at combines and so forth. He has thus far, yes.
Those instincts, the above the neck play, is that going to describe Joe Haden as well?
Yeah, but, Joe Haden had freakish talent as well. That's why he went wherever he went in the draft. But certainly, yes.
And that's high praise from your head coach. And I think that's, I've watched Joe Haden my entire life watching football, at least my adult life watching football. And, I mean, he's just, he is an above-the-head kind of player with incredible talent.
Yeah, that's one of the things he told me is that a lot of the guys on this team, including a guy like Arthur Millette, he mentioned by name, who's been in the league for 5 years, is telling him that, hey, I watched you at Florida. Yeah. I watched you. He said Millette told him that he's the reason why he's playing pro football, which is just crazy when you think about it. Millette's been in the league for 5 years, but Hayden's in year 12. Yeah. And, it's a remarkable career, 29 career interceptions. As I told him, I said, you've basically been through everything a football player can go through, including a 1-win season, getting released, multiple contracts, being a high first-round draft pick, a Pro Bowl player, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't won that Super Bowl yet, and that's one thing that still, he still wants to get, and feels like this team can do it.
You brought up the leadership role, and talking about if Ben or somebody like that were to hang it up. Just looking at the defensive backs, being that this is a younger crew. What does having a Joe Haden mean for that defensive backs room?
It gives them somebody they can watch. Somebody when they're watching tape can kind of break things down because he's seen everything there is to see in the league. He's played in, even though he's been here now in year 5 and played in that same system, one of the things about being in Cleveland every year was that they were changing coaches on a pretty consistent basis. So there's not much you're going to throw at a guy like Joe Haden that he hasn't seen either from a coaching standpoint or, as a player standpoint. So it's like having another coach in that room.
Yeah, it's important to have that. We're going to take a quick break. I want to stick on the defensive side of the ball when we come back and talk a little bit about Devin Bush since he spoke today. We'll be right back. This is Steelers Today. All right, and we're back with Steelers Today. I'm your host, Eddie Provident. With me is Dale Lolley, back from Canton. Dale, we got to hear from Devin Bush for the first time this offseason, or this training camp. He said that he was ready to go. He says he feels 100%. Here's actually what he had to say about his health right now.
Feel good. Man, I'm ready. I've been ready for a while now, but mentally I think I'm ready. Not really. I think it's more about just being smart right now. Just, we got a long way for a season, and we got a long season coming up. So I think it's not putting too much on me early when we got a long season ahead of us.
So when Tomlin was asked about it, Tomlin said that it actually wasn't a hard decision. It's the job, is how Tomlin put it, to hold a guy back like that. Why do you think they're holding him back, and do you think it even matters at this point with a guy like Bush?
You hold a guy like that back because he is so important, and sometimes you have to do what's in the best interest of the player. The player is going to, get it. They want to be out there. They want to practice. This is what they do. He wants to go out there and prove to himself that he's 100% back. At the same time, you don't want him to re-injure that thing, So it's that line that the coaching staff has to walk with a player who's extremely important to this defense.
Yeah. As far as Devin Bush goes, we had this conversation over on the South Side. It didn't even come up in the media thing. Do you think that Twitter stuff is blown over? Do you think it's dead and gone?
Much to do about nothing. Look, some fans get too wrapped up in the social media stuff that you complain about social media and what players say on social media.
But that's my generation. I mean, that's like we find every reason to complain about everything. Somebody dresses the wrong way, someone says the wrong thing, someone quotes the wrong thing. That's how our generation is.
I'm not big on the cancel culture. People have come after me from things that I've said over, some things over the years. It is what it is. Get over it. Get over yourselves. Nobody's that important, including the guys that play on this field.
And I'm with you, man. The first time Devin Bush makes a sack, the first time Devin Bush has a pick, the first time he makes a big play, all of this is forgotten. Nobody cares. It is what it is. It was, little. So let's just bury that for the record. It's done and over with. We don't have to worry about it anymore. Anything else you saw from day 15?
Just the fact that Kevin Dotson's still running second team offensive line. Now he's back 2 days. Rashad Coward's still out there. No Ben Roethlisberger today. He took the day off. I don't expect, we'll talk to Mike Tomlin tomorrow, but I would expect that they don't play Ben Roethlisberger in this game against the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday night. We'll see. Mason Rudolph still took the first team snaps today. We'll see if that's the case on Thursday night. I wouldn't mind seeing Dwayne Haskins out there, with the first unit, or at least starting the game, and maybe give Rudolph the opportunity to run the 2-minute offense at the end of the half. We'll see what he has to say about that on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out with the quarterback crew. We've talked about that a lot. I think it's been 3 or 4 episodes that we've covered the quarterback thing.
It's quarterback.
Yeah, the last 2 things quickly I wanted to get your opinions on because we haven't seen you in a few days. Any read into what Keith Butler said about TJ Watt?
No, I mean, that's kind of what I felt all along. This isn't a holdout, folks. He's here. He's working.
And he's working hard, too. I was down there taking photos today, and he was right in front of me, and he was drenched in sweat, sucking wind. I mean, it's not that he's not working.
I've covered holdouts, and I've covered, Hines Ward held out. If you remember all the way back to his rookie year, Rob Woodson held out. It's not typically a holdout, though, because he didn't have a contract yet. But I've covered holdouts for covering the Steelers. He's here. He's working. He's just not doing 11-on-11 stuff. It's not a big deal. I'm sure at this point the team doesn't want him doing 11-on-11 stuff. We probably wouldn't have seen him much in the field to begin with because it's just there's nothing to be gained from it at this point. Yeah,
and the way I look at it, it gives the young guys a chance to get a couple more reps.
The old guy, Melvin Ingram.
Yeah, true. And then finally, you mentioned him, Kevin Dotson. Any thoughts on this situation? I mean, obviously this was close to home with DK, but any thoughts on him? Do you think he's going to end up being the day one starter? Do you think this is just formalities?
I think I think they like what they've seen from Rashad Coward, so you don't automatically give a guy with 4 career starts his starting job back just because he's back. And there was some dissatisfaction with some of the things that he did in the offseason. Doesn't mean conditioning, doesn't mean anything of that nature. Could have been maybe they didn't maybe he felt like he came into camp feeling like he was automatically going to be given a starting job. Maybe it was he didn't learn the playbook quite the way that everybody else did. There's 100 different things there that they could have been a little miffed at Kevin Dotson about. But the fact of the matter is he's not in the starting lineup right now.
Yeah, and I can't make this more clear. I don't think you can make it more clear. DK can't make it more clear. It was never reported that why they were upset with him or why they were unhappy with him. It was just that they were unhappy. They were unhappy. Yeah. That's it. No why, just that was it. Just a matter of fact. That's it for day 15. We'll have one more. Don't forget the Pony League World Series out in Washington. Pony League World Series. That's right. Something that I lost in the playoffs 2 years straight for, but we're not going to talk about that. For Dale Lolley, for DK Pittsburgh Sports, I'm Eddie Provident. Thanks for watching today. We'll catch you tomorrow.